PGA European Tour is brought to you by Volvo.
Well, hello and welcome to the Linde German Masters from the Mozzena See Golf and Country Club, just outside the outskirts of the city of Berlin. Perfect day for golf, little breeze, bright sunshine. And the scoring here was good last year and promises to be just as good last year. This is the third year running that this course has staged this Linde German Masters, co-promoted by the brothers Lange, Norwin and Bernhard, and first way to commemorate Bernhard's win in Augusta. Lange himself a runner-up to Anders Forsbrand last year. Course reasonably open and quite a bit of water in play, and we're going to join the first round action live for the next 2 hours. Just see the close of the morning play and then join the likes of Colin Montgomery live. There's one or two problems getting the picture to you at the moment, and there we are, soon sorted. And you're looking at the 18th and the two men who've made the moves this morning, Paul McGinley of Ireland and Mark Farry of France. And McGinley 7 under, Farry 6 under. And playing with Gordon Brand Jr., who's a modest 2 under. But this is McGinley, tournament leader. This 18th hole, 449 yards, dogleg from left to right, second shot across the water. I'll sit down, he hasn't had a bogey at all today, 7 birdies. Of course last week it was an Irishman, Padraig Harrington, who set the first round pace in the Smurfit European Open with the 65s. And Harrington just finishing his first round on the other side of the course with Tom Lehman and Bernhard Lange. We're just going to tidy up the morning play and then join the likes of Colin Montgomery, Ernie Els and defending champion Anders Forsbrand as they make their way around this course in their first round. We just finished in front of this group, Sevi Ballesteros, Sven Struve and Ian Woosnam, but as soon as we can we'll bring you completely up to date with the morning scoring. Now Brown Jr., who opened well last week but then fell away over the remaining 3 rounds. Really hasn't found his best form this year so far. There were signs this time last week that he was on his way back, maybe a forced dawn. See the greens, very true, and that was a beautiful way to finish. So par 72, 3 under. Gordon Brown Jr. finishes again with a 69 for the second week running, and a pretty tidy car, just the 1 bogey at the 11th. Good finish though. Tournament won last year by Anders Forsbrand, and before that by Severiano Ballesteros in the playoff with Jose Maria Olazabal and Ernie Els, and Els back this week. Tournament first played in 87 when Sandy Lar was the winner, and Lange a winner himself in 1989, and looking for his 10th win in his native Germany, and more to the point, looking for his first win of the year. 17 years with at least 1 victory. And here is the man himself, sponsored by Linde. It might have been a chocolate company, but in fact they're an industrial conglomerate, electrical and contracting work, and that from the advert at Heathrow. When you flew out from Terminal 1 you can see the advert up above the departure gates. So Lange finishing his round at the 9th. 345 yards. Probably a chance to finish more strongly on this half, which has the 8th hole of par 5, reachable in 2. Now Mark Farry, happy memories of Germany for Mark Farry, BMW, San Jurek. His first win on the European Tour when play was curtailed after 36 holes, or abandoned after 36 holes, and Farry found himself all the glory that winning can bring. That big check exemption, and all the worries over. Now Harrington. So a good shot in. After that 65, which set a new course record at the K Club, Padraig got engaged. Didn't play quite so well after that for the next 3 days. McKinley then slow round, of course, a 62. Final round of the Hohe Brücke in Austria that brought him a long-awaited first win on the European Tour. You don't want to finish with a bogey, but well, we'll have to settle for a 66. It has to settle for a 66. Always disappointing to finish with your one bogey of the round, but it's a fine start from McGinley. Didn't do a lot wrong, did he? Of course, we'll be seeing a little bit more of McGinley and co, Lehman, Ballesteros, Woosnams, Struve, Harrington and Langer on our coverage tomorrow afternoon when the draw is reversed. So Farry, putt for par and a share of the lead now. One, two, pretty good round. With just the one bogey that came at the par 3 7th. It's strange how when one member of the three ball is playing well, it brings the other along, and all three of those players have gone well. Hasn't gone quite so well for Tom Lehman here for the second week. Level par to his closing hole. The Open champion, of course. Oh, that's more like it. Go on. What a finish that would have been. Enjoyed his time at the K Club and did quite a bit of fishing as well. Here's tonight, 343 yards. You can see not too many trees. That will change over the years. Young trees will grow. You just have to look out for that bunker on the right-hand side. But it's a fairly generous driving area without too much wind. A lot of the players will carry that bunker anyway. And then just a flick across the water to a green, a spectacle green that runs across the player, so the pin can be put into a fairly narrow position. It really is a birdie opportunity. There's the story of Lehman's round. Well, he's tapped in already. Don't blame him, he's only an inch away. A 71, 1 under. There's some German blood in the old ancestry. And of course played before he established himself on the US tour, played a lot in South Africa and Asia. Langer with the long handle putter. This may be, no, I think we saw it Trophy Longcom, that's when it first came out. I was going to say it may have been the first time you've seen it on Eurosport, but it's from here on in that he found he had a problem, and so gone to the long broom handle putter. This for a 70. Just a 71 for Langer. Really hasn't been that good a year. So the loyal fans will no doubt support him throughout, but an ugly 6 at the 16th. The main problem for Bernhard, he also dropped a shot at the 7th. And finishing par overall, that's like a shot drop. Should pick up a birdie somewhere. Harrington 5 under, going well again for the second week running on a Thursday, and a putt to share the lead with fellow countryman McGinley and the Frenchman Mark Farry. Right in there in the race for Rookie of the Year, the Spanish Open champion between Padraig, Raymond Russell and Thomas Bjorn from Denmark. That may be resolved, or not resolved, until Valderrama, the Volvo Masters. A confident strike. I'm not sure it even touched the hole. We just turned 25, 3 times Walker Cup player, qualified as a chartered accountant, and been making the numbers add up. And this year, top 10 of the Volvo rankings. Fabulous start to his professional career. Only Mark, but there was no one else to go. I think he just wanted to compose himself after that fly past, really. Two clouds starting to gather. Also, for your entertainment this afternoon, Costatina Rocker, Per Ulrich Johansson, 1 and 2 last week. They're out immediately ahead of Colin Montgomery with Eduardo Romero. Suspect we'll see Raymond Russell as well. And Thomas Gergler and Ronan Rafferty. Maybe a glance at Mark Minotti, Mark James and Miguel Angel Martin. Expensive. I suppose the only saving grace is better to do it at this end of the tournament rather than at the finish. So that's a disappointing conclusion to his first round for Padraig Harrington. It's still a 68 and leaves him clearly well in contention, but not the way you want to finish. Looking for a 3 and it was a 5. So we're underway. Confirmation, McGinley and Farry share the lead with David A. Russell, the big man from Kent, and Michael Campbell was 67. Campbell desperate for a good result this week, otherwise it's tour score San Roque. Ross McFarlane, Philip Walton, Miguel Jimenez and Padraig Harrington all 4 under. So is Paul Eales with 3 to play. See you again after the break. Back to the outskirts of Berlin, round 1 of the Linde German Masters. And the pace set by 3 players at 6 under, Paul McGinley, Mark Farry and David A. Russell. Get the course record 61. 11 under, all sorts of records broken. That was set by Russell Clayton. Now here's Jay Townsend from America, who needs a good week if he's to finish in the top 115 and guarantee his car. Played very well early in the season at Dubai, and what a shot that is. Well, that's going to help. 4 under. And since then has struggled slightly, and 115th right on the mark at the moment. But that shot helped into a 68. And you may wonder what's Jay doing in a restricted field. Well, a lot of the invites based on last year's money list, not this year's, hence Michael Campbell high up the list and Jay Townsend as well. And if you're here, you need to make the most of it. Paul Eales, no stranger to this commentary box, and a 67. His target this week just to secure that place at Valderrama for the season-ending Volvo Masters, and that's a good start, 67. No bogeys at all. For those that are still trying to keep their card, I suppose the Hockey Pro-Am next week, important tournament. David Russell got his invite here this week, and he needs a good finish as well, but a 67 is not a bad way to start. David A. Russell, 126 of that money list. He's got to claim one of perhaps the top 20 places this week, and that might just be good enough. So I think as the week unfolds, there's an awful lot that's going to keep us entertained. And David A. Russell in the end, his score adjusted once he'd been in the recorder's tent. It was a 67, not a 66. So McGinley and Farry sharing the lead, but a whole posse on 5 under. Ross McFarlane also a 68, he'll be pleased with that. You can see that Padraig Harrington with his 68, Peter Baker out on the course, may see a little of him. Peter O'Malley from Australia in with a 68. And these are the groups that we're going to see this afternoon, our feature groups. Last week's winner, Per Ulrich Johansson, the man who came second, Costatina Rocker, and the ever dangerous Eduardo Romero. Ernie Els back in Europe for a 3-week swing. Colin Montgomery, surely he's going to be number 1 for the 4th year running in Europe. And Anders Forsbrand, what's happened to him this year, defending champion? But he's had a wretched 1996. We'll be looking for clues as to what the problem is and seeing if Anders can revive memories of last year. So plenty in store over the next hour and 3/4 or so. So just becoming a little overcast now. But let's go out onto the 14th and join Thomas Gergler, who's playing with Ronan Rafferty and Raymond Russell. 377 yards. Shortage par 4. And Gergler, who's worries about keeping his car, were banished by a 2nd place in the Volvo German Open. Actually, the last 2 tournaments in Germany have been rain affected. This is the way 14's played. It's ranking one of the easier holes on the course. 27 birdies so far and just 6 bogeys with 47 pars. So you're expecting to pick up a shot here. And Rafferty could do with it. 2 over. All the pitch marks around the hole, all repaired, but it just shows you how close these pros are getting. Now Raymond Russell. He's misjudged that. That's pretty poor, in all honesty, from that distance. Good 15 yards too long, and Raymond, well, he's 10th in the Volvo rankings at the moment. Harrington's 8th, Thomas Bjorn 9th. So he's losing a little ground. Gergler 5 under, leading German. Not bad, not much wind about, and what there is, downwind just gusting a little perhaps, and that might be what fooled Raymond Russell. Per Ulrich Johansson, oh dear. Well, he finished so well last week. You can see how he goes down the club. He was at the 13th. That's his second shot, but he's already had one hit. Maybe being a little greedy out of the bunker. There's an awkward stance, isn't that? For the corner, that's heading towards the crowd.
I have to move the camera down.
So Johansson, who was so strong at the weekend at the K Club, finding one or two problems, and they paired him with Konstantina Rocca, who looked a strong favourite to win. You can see that Per Ulrich was 3 under, just dropped the shots to 2 under now, and more troubles to come. I don't think that was second shot or third shot. Looks like he's up somewhere near the green, so we may have to wait for the computer to advise us exactly how many he's taken. But he hadn't showed any form at all before last week. Was way down somewhere like 96 in the money list, and his object was to get to Valderrama, and the wind carried him up to 25th in the Volvo rankings. So objective achieved. This is the way the 13th is playing at the moment. 39 birdies, 1 bogey, 1 double bogey. I think Per Ulrich may be adding to that small total. But again, average 4.56. Again, it's a hole where really you ought to pick up a shot. The green, they can make the target a little difficult with that bunker just in front. I think Johansson, anything has been a little lucky. It's setting up. You can see how clumpy the rough is. So he may escape with a par. Lofted wedge that he can manage. Landed as softly as he can. Played very well in the USPGA, share of 8th place. Of course, a member of last year's winning Ryder Cup side. Not a big man. See down that shaft again. Well, from there, pretty good, and a chance to escape with a par. A share of the lead. Oh, just enough, and that's all it needed. So all the pressure was taken off Gergler in Stuttgart. And the last round was rained out. And he is making the most of it. Been trying for his card on and off the tour for some years now, but still quite young. There's a dapper figure of Eduardo Romero, who's not so young now. He's 42 from Cordoba, but still a high-class performer. 27th currently in the Volvo rankings. Ooh, he's quite a tricky pin placing just over that ridge. You can be quite close to the hole, as Eduardo was, and still find yourself missing out. And 1 under. and only average at the moment. You would hope to be 3 or 4 under at the end of the day. Rapidly around and around, and finally in the hole. He's only just in the top 100 this year. Working hard at this game, but not really reaping the rewards. Now, Kestatino Rocca 1 under. Had to give his putter a good talking to on several occasions last week. Seemed to do the trick, but was just perhaps a little defensive over the closing holes of an admittedly difficult finish at the K Club. Well, those of you that speak Italian know exactly what he said. He's learning a bit of English, not the right expressions really, I guess, when you miss a putt. But Rocca played very well until the closing holes and then paid the price. He needed a birdie at 18, the par 5, to force a playoff with Johansson. Of course, when he heaved his drive or pushed his drive a little to the right, didn't have a good lie, couldn't get up in 2, and Johansson was home free for his 3rd win on the European Tour. We've had a little bit of a Scandinavian swing. First it was Jesper Parnevik, then it was the Dane Thomas Bjorn at Loch Lomond, and then last week Johansson. Not the quickest of players. The watch was on them a little last week, and waiting down the fairway. There was Forsbrand and Montgomery. Patiently waiting, I hope. Oh, that's a good save in the end. So it remains at 2 under. So he doesn't add to the total of bogeys and double bogeys, which still remains 1 apiece. See the distance, those bunkers in play, quite an open tee shot, and those bunkers for these players are not even a consideration, nor the bunkers on the right hand side for the club players' second shot. They're really just worried about, or should be worried about, just the bunker in front of the green and maybe the pop bunker to the right. Now here's Colin Montgomery. Needing a wood to get home. 547 yards, 3 under, so consistent. If that's the driver, nobody hits the driver off the deck better than Monty. That's my case. You know, last week at the K Club he had to make 2 late birdies to just make the cut at +3. And it had been so easy to say, well, I'll take a weekend off, I'm feeling a little bit tired. But he didn't, and that's why he has total respect from everybody in the game. Andrew Coulthard, so close again last week. Andrew Coulthard not so far away. Here's Anders Forsbrand. I really don't know what's wrong with Anders this year. He played 12 times before this week. 7 missed cuts, best place share of 15th in Catalonia, and 2 over at the moment. Well, that might help. Come on. So Montgomery needing to finish just £6,500 ahead of Ian Woosnam this week in prize money terms, and that's the 4th consecutive Order of Merit win. Harry Vardon Trophy wrapped up, and here equal the record of Peter Oosterhuis. And the hand comes off at Usually means it's offline, and that one a little away to the right, but not too bad. He's got away with it into the shadows. Actually, not a bad way in. Quite a wide stance. Various checkpoints on his swing, just trying to see what went wrong on that one. Of course, Ian Woosnam here this week as well, when perhaps his back would have dictated he might take the week off, had it not been for the possibility of still finishing at number one. One of the reasons for that, not only pride, he's a very proud character, is Woosie, but a lot of his contracts, performance related, will be worth a lot of money to Ian Woosnam if he were to finish number one. And of course, talking of pride, Colin Montgomery starting so well again, a couple of birdies. And it really was professional pride last week at the K Club. It would have been so easy just to pack the towel in, but he finished with 2 birdies when he needed them, and then improved through the weekend, and in the end finished ahead of Ian Woosnam. Now, if he finishes top of the Order of Merit and turns up at Valderrama, which he surely will for the Volvo Masters, he'll pick up an extra £150,000 from the Volvo bonus pool.
You're a boy, you are a boy.
A bit of banter with Anders Forsbrand or Ernie Els. Montgomery's saying he's feeling very tired at the moment, but when you keep firing birdies, it does help. You don't feel quite so weary, they tell me. Well, that's one way to get home. Beat the jams on the Autobahn. There's the train that takes spectators in and out of Berlin. And the balloon going up. I wonder who's in there, apart from our cameraman. We were fresh out of courtesy cars. Can we offer you the balloon? Well, you can fly away for a few moments, and we'll show you the scene from above the course, and we'll be back feet on the ground after the break. There we go. We'll stay here. Here's Ernie Els, beaten in the playoff 2 years ago. Good to see him back in Europe. Hasn't had the greatest of years. He's without doubt a world-class player, but a couple of years ago when he won his US Open, the seeds were there for him to dominate, or begin to dominate world golf. That hasn't quite happened yet. The ability's there. Just wonder sometimes if the real desire is around as well. It's a beautiful putting stroke though, isn't it? He's playing with Forsbrand and Montgomery. Be playing next week for South Africa at St Andrews, and then looking for a 3rd successive World Match Play win at Wentworth. Gurgler joint lead up. Could be leader on his own in a minute. What a super shot. Anders Forsbrand from the back of 13. This would smarten up the card. From left to right, just outside the line of Ernie's marker perhaps. One inside, and certainly needed to be more left. Had an old looking putter when he won last year. He's back with a more conventional ping this time round. Doesn't look too happy with after the touring professional from Valderrama. Chances are he won't be playing in the end of the month. Not a tree line course, but you can see how close we are to a forest. This land used to be in the olden days full of military manoeuvres.
Go. Go.
I wanted to go back into that little bowl. Mackenzie type green. Difficult putt left. Montgomery to go just one shot off the lead. Hasn't got the best of records here at Montzena's. Missed the cut 2 years ago, pulled out after round one with the damaged wrist last year, and they have to settle for birdie, but it's a handy start to this tournament, just keeping Ian Woosnam in his sights. Ian Woosnam got the early tee time he'd been asking for. Not really setting too much of a target for Montgomery. He would expect to be 3 or 4 under on this layout. So there we are, situation the top, three-way tie. Lots of players are 5 under. It's very tight, and this time we will take a break. I'll see you to the side. The first round of the Linde German Masters. Just before the break, you saw Colin Montgomery about to go 4 under. Well, he's one ahead of Ian Woosnam. Woosnam already in the clubhouse with a 69, and Jonathan Lomas, winner of the Czech Open, also a 69 for the touring pro from Hawkston Park. Seve, winner 2 years ago here, a 70, tidy start, 2 under. Stephen Richardson, who's won this title back in 1993, he had a 71, same mark as Tom Lehman. And Thomas Bjorn, our winner at Loch Lomond, also a 71, and the man who was runner-up, Jean van der Boude, a 71. But this is Thomas Gergler for the lead. And Gergler, 7 under, leader by 1. Now, you've got pretty long odds on if you'd bet Gergler might be the first round leader of the German Masters. Here's Eduardo Romero. You can see how many pitch marks are around the hole, suggests that this might be a popular pin placing. That's far away, perhaps, from where they had it in the Pro-Am. Getting ready to go back to Argentina soon, plays 4 or 5 week blocks and then takes a couple of weeks off. But let's continue with our leader at the 16th, 421 yards. Quite a tight par 4, trees down the right, out of bounds on the left. That's just about perfect. Gergler, confidence sky high. Oh, Rocker. He's having a great year, of course. Always seems to be in contention. The putter will get a talking to now. Comfort zone? You're joking. So he could be back in the factory.
Still playing.
Well, Thomas Gergler, if he can stay up there and let Bernhard Langer get a little closer, big crowds likely to come out for the weekend. Whilst the Dunhill Cup takes place at St Andrews next week, that Mackay Pro-Am down in Madrid, that will be important. You can see highlights Saturday and Sunday evening on Eurosport. Did he pay to get in? Oh dear, oh dear. not that impressed anyway. I think I'll go home. Well, maybe not. And they're up in the balloon, still high above the course. Let's have a look at the view down there. Pretty spectacular, eh? There's the lake. Forms guards the 9th and 18th greens. And you can see how the trees just cut into part of the course, but basically it's not a tree-lined course. And Colin Montgomery could, if he wanted, to drop out of that area designated as ground under repair, but if the lie is good, he's quite happy to play. He'll take the risk of dropping. And looking just to work this a little left to right, downwind. Beautiful. And he doesn't look too tired to me. Of course, if he makes it, it's a busy schedule. If he makes it this week, next week, of course, he's got the Alfred Dunhill Cup, then the World Match Play, then the Volvo Masters, then off around the world. This is not an easy fairway to miss, but looks, from this distance, although Anders Forsprand may have managed it. Never particularly liked his, no expert, but I've never particularly liked his leg action. It's always looked a bit manufactured to me. Now come on up, if you come now, that may just start to roll back. When you're having one of those days, doesn't that always happen? Like a man enjoying his work. Ernie Els has also missed this fairway, not by much, but the line doesn't look that good. So in a couple of weeks' time, maybe at Wentworth, trying to win 3 in a row World Match Play titles. You wouldn't bet against him. Good field out that week as well. You'll be able to see that on Eurosport. Go on, go on. Now this could be very, very close. We're seeing a superb display of shot making already from some of the best players in the world. If it was match play, that's a gimme. It's almost a gimme in stroke play, really, isn't it? Look at that again. You see, open the stance, swing across, cut the ball up, and it's downwind. Judged to perfection. Knew it wouldn't bite. Even Ernie may have been moderately pleased with the outcome of that one. Take a look at the 14th. Really wild shot down the right. There are trees awaiting. Just the one bunker on the left-hand side, looking to carry that. And Anders Forsprand pulling his way into the rough, which can be quite deep. And right bunker in front of the green being changed into a grass bunker. This is where we find out if these pictures are from last year or actually done this year. You can see plenty of bunkers around anyway. And the way the hole is played. And again, you're looking to pick up a shot here. It's a pick-up hole. Looking at field for the World Match Play, 3 of the 4 major winners. Tom Lehman stays on, and Steve Jones, the US Open champion, also plays. Monty and Woozy. Anything else? Phil Mickelson, Steve Stricker, Steve Elkington. And Mark O'Meara, who's had such a good year in America. Splendid two-shot gurgler at 16. And he really is playing exceptionally well. He's been missing his share of those in recent weeks, otherwise the race to be number one would have been over some while ago. Face like thunder. 4 unders should be 5. Merritt. Just the sort of tap-in that we could all handle. It's a birdie for any hours. So 3 under, if he can pick up another shot or maybe 2 on the way home, not going to be away. The early leavers on their way back to Berlin, seen enough, the Bernhard Langer fans, and kind of pleasant train journey that is as well. Bucks Fizz when you come out and a bit of breakfast in the morning. Mustn't be short. Easy to be too long. Oh, wonderful control again. So it's strange how they find a little bit of form, a little bit of confidence, something works, and they're back again in contention. Here's 15, 366 yards. And it's coming out of the forest, so quite a tight drive. Trees left and right, and the trees extending down the right. What you don't want to do is hook. You see those 2 trees come into play. I've seen 1 or 2 over the years. Get it behind those. And of course, so close is the out of bounds. We've seen 1 or 2 in trouble there as well. Again, it's a raised green, well bunkered. Nels like so many going with the iron. It's nicely down the left-hand side, no danger there. Such an easy looking swing, isn't it? Monty going with the fairway wood. I think that's the 3 wood. Oh, and that's rare as well. Missing a fairway over on the right hand side. Signs in the closing stages at Trophy Longcombe and maybe Glock Lehman that he wasn't quite on his game, and we've been working a little bit with Bill Ferguson over the last couple of weeks. His judgment of his second shot from Rocker. knows when the cameras are on him. Gergler, who's not 26 until next month, from Hamburg. Been a pro for 10 years though. Twice had his card. This is going to be the first time that he retains it. Previous best, 164th in the ranking, so this really has been a big year for Thomas. Been around a time or two, and Andrew Coulter, again a strong performance last week, and looking to go to 5 under, a little tentative. He's still in contention. Ulrich Johansson looking for a strong finish, 5 off the pace at the moment. Now he will have learned a little from Rocker's long-range effort for birdie, which just brushed past the hole. A little bit from the right-hand side. Not much. Not that much. And then you got to hit it. Credit to the spectators, ready, willing and able to clap anything. There's Andrew Coulter. Had a chance really to boss last week's tournament. In the first round, saw a good position slip away. Just working hard on keeping calm, being patient. Easy to say, rather harder to do when you're playing so well without your first win. Now for the putter's sake, let's hope this one goes in. He's still not having fun though. Big Ernie. You were with us 2 years ago watching the climax of this tournament when he was playing with Jose Maria Olazabal. Seve finished in front, and a lot of people thought he'd taken a penalty drop a few holes early, and it wasn't. It was a free drop, and the scoreboard wasn't adjusted. Seve knew, of course. A little bit wayward. Sometimes he has a problem getting his alignment right. Maybe fooled by the breeze. So Ernie and Ollie came to 18, thinking they had a chance of winning. In the end, they had to go some to make it a playoff with Seve, which Biasteer has won. Force Brown missing yet another fairway. From with a couple of 64s last year. And they now had a late charge from Langer with rounds 67, 69.
I was going to fly, with a bit of wind up there as well. It's off the fairway, it might be nice. I think you got the right spot.
Just has to be wary of a flyer. Well, that's okay. Couldn't really afford to leave it short. Not too much green to work with. Gergler at the 17th. There's an Audi car on offer for a hole-in-one. There's water on the right, and understandably that's going a little left. Maybe water on the left-hand side if he goes that far. Now you can see if we swing back, he's got an awkward chip, no green to work with, and the water behind. He was just a little aware of the water on that one. So, problem for Thomas Gergler. A reminder that the lead in the clubhouse shared by Mark Farry and Paul McKinley, who are out playing this morning. Let's take a look at that leaderboard just to refresh our minds. Gergler at the top, but he's got a problem or two at 17. Peter Baker, 6 under with 1 to play, and Michael Campbell, long overdue, much needed, good first round. We'll be back with Gergler and his problems at 17 after these words. Second shot at 17, and the tournament leader with problems. He's still got an awkward third shot. They can move those TV cables. His screens go blank, you'll know why. Not much green to work with, and it really was a very poor tee shot from Gergler. Worried about the water. Here we are, I'll show you again. He's just trying to get this up as softly as he could, and in all honesty that wasn't that bad a shot. A couple of yards more might have been very good. So three-way tie at the top. Peter Baker, who's getting on more and more leaderboards early on, just needs to stay there through the entire 4 rounds of the tournament. He's 6 under with 1 to play. Must be playing on the other side of the course. Yep, Roy Johnson and Caceres having started at the 10th. Again, you see it's so close, and he couldn't drop that on the putting surface. You can see what he was trying to do with the first shot. Top of that slope, let the rough, semi-rough, take some of the pace off and just release down on the green. And he's looking at a 5. Forsbrand, 1 over. Needs to pick up a shot or two already. The cut is shaping up. Possibly 2 or 3 under. It was 2 under last year. That will help. And I guess when things aren't going your way, that's what happens. So Montgomery. That was to save par. Still 4 under. Remember, he missed the fairway on the right. Haven't seen any action from him since then, but any else? Feeling this is birdie, straight in the middle. And Wells 3 under, starting to look very strong.
No. Fence up there.
This is Gergler just for just a bogey 4 to drop just the 1. Oh no, so to 5 under. Slips back to the pack on 5 under. There he is with Emmanuel Kanonica, who may retain his card if he continues that kind of form. Now, to the side of the course, here is Peter Baker. Hold his second shot. 18. Having started the 10th out in 32, 6 under. This is not a long hole, so could well grab the lead. From 100 yards in, he's not the best of players. He admits that's the area he's got to improve in. But he's had a consistent season, has Peter. He just needs that chance to really hang on in there into a Sunday and test himself under real pressure again. 16, the dogleg from left to right. Big hit from Annie Owls. Sarah's 5 under, so you can see the scoring pretty good all round, and if you're no better than par, chances are you're on your way home come tomorrow evening. It's a chance to go 6 under. Push that one away to the right again, and a little fortunate not to be in the bunker, and he may be okay as long as he's not in that scrub. He may be between the two and may have got away with it. Yeah, so little pat for the driver, letting him down for once. And not many players use Persimmon. Bernhard Langer is one. It looks like the Sportsman is another. Different sort of sound off the club face. Well, you stop missing him on the left, and that is in the bunker. So at this level, sometimes it's just fractions that you can be out. Well, the answer to the blimp is a lot less annoying as well, isn't it? 10 years ago, say, you wouldn't want to be up in a balloon over this part of the world. You wouldn't be up there for very long.
You can just look. If you just look over the side that way. All right. Okay.
There we are. View of the course in the late afternoon sunshine. Field of 102 this week, rather restricted because the hours of daylight are restricted. No other reason for it. Now, if you're going to turn up at the course for a little bit of corporate hospitality, may I recommend you go up in the balloon before lunch. Peter Baker will not have been pleased with Wolverhampton Wanderers' setback last night against Bolton Wanderers. It's sad for Wolves because they're going to lose 2 in a row. They got Reading on Saturday. Wish. Season ticket holder at Molyneux, football fanatic, and of course I think has a chance of working his way into next year's Ryder Cup side. I'm sure there's going to be 1 or 2 big finishes soon for Peter. This is in for a 65 in the lead. Good pace, and trying to swing late on. It will be a 66, but an excellent opening effort from Peter Baker. He shares the lead at 6 under. So the lead set at 6 under. Paul McGinley, Mark Farry, and now Peter Baker. But early days, just jostling for position. Of course, Jose Caceres can make it a 4-way tie at the top if he pops this one in. Jose's best finish this year was very early doors down in Durban, the FNB Players Championship down in South Africa, and he ran Wayne Western all the way. 66 without a single bogey. So Gazzeras looks a fidgety character. Don't let that fool you. He's a tough competitor. If he gets the chance of the weekend, he won't back away. Now Gergler, having dropped 2 shots at 17, needs a confidence-boosting drive. Water on the right, and you just have to fly it across the edge of the water up the right-hand side of the fairway. That's okay. And now a medium iron, shortish iron across the water into the home green. So there we are. Mark Moolan's there as well. Where did he come from? The Welshman 6 under 66. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 players 6 under. A number at 5 under as well. 4 under is the only average on this opening day. Scoring good at the Berliner Golf and Country Club. Chance for Andrew Coulthard maybe to pick up a shot at the last. Well, we've got about 15 minutes to run on this coverage of the first round, and I'll see you again after the break. Okay, at the Berliner Golf and Country Club, the first round of the Linde German Masters. Any number of players vying for the lead at 6 under. Been a day of consistent scoring, and over 50 of the field, just about half, are under par. And one of them, Ernie Els, 3 off the pace. Some sand-based greens, just picking up a little bit of sound there. But they're very true putting surfaces, and that in no small way has contributed to the high standards of scoring today. I was just checking his divot, maybe just tugged it a little away to the left, and Forsbrand, he's far enough back, he may be able to get somewhere close to the green with this. Certainly if he was up against the face, it would be just a question of getting out. Sounded a good contact. Little unlucky. The day when he was setting rounds of 64 the first 2 days last year, that would have gone forward. Mark Moolan then with his 66, where did he come from? But he's running into form at just the right time with Paul Affleck and Philip Price. That will be the Welsh team in next week's Alfred Dunhill Cup. Romero at the 17th. And that's perfect shot, wind just off the right, but pin placing means that the water not really in play. Probably shows you what a bad shot it was from Thomas Gergler. There's the prize on offer for a hole-in-one. The Renault claimed last week by Michael Welsh. I wouldn't mind driving that home. It's rather smart, isn't it, the Audi? Too happy with it. Well, that's why. Well, he's better off in the sand than where Thomas Gergler was, even after the German had played 2 shots. More control out of the bunker. Didn't see the tee shot of Costantino Rocca. A bit of breeze getting up now. And we're back tomorrow afternoon, same time on Eurosport for 2 hours live coverage. A little bit later on Saturday, an hour and a half, and quite late on Sunday for just an hour. This is the man who was leading, second shot to the closing hole. Was just down a little on that. Oh, well, maybe couldn't believe. Look at the pitch, but almost pitched into the hole. Colin Montgomery, who played with Sepp Meyer in the Pro-Am. Remember, he missed his tee shot away to the right of the line. Couldn't have been that good. He's having to use his short game skills to get up and down and save his par at 16. Well, with the wind behind, it was never going to be easy, though it's trying to work its way back. We found if he could get enough action on it, it might spin back down the slope. There's the situation at the top of the Volvo rankings now. Whatever the currency, let's do it in pounds sterling. You can see the lead is about £143,000 for Colin Montgomery and 150,000 for first prize at the Volvo Masters, and neither are playing in the Pro-Am next week, so it's between those two, 6,500, and Monty's done it. Commiserations to Robert Allenby, who had an outside chance but twisted his ankle leaving Loch Lomond, so had to pull out of last week's tournament, and then had insult, or had injury to insult really, was in a car crash down in Spain on Saturday night, and facial injuries and a fractured sternum, so his European year has finished. And we wish him a complete recovery. I'm sure not too serious, and he said lucky to be alive and thankful for small mercies, but it's a sad ending to what's been a very good season for Robert Allenby. Johansson just flicking, right, not splashing that one out, just flicking that ball out and letting it run down towards the hole. Then got that one right. Oh, got that one right. He just sometimes addresses the ball, you just sense it's going in the hole. He doesn't look any way that he can miss, and that was a good pace, held the line, and 4 under, and the shadow of Ernie Els looms large, even at this stage, across the leaders. So he's at level with Colin Montgomery. Monty having to hold this one to save his par. Stay at 4 under. Okay, he's going to come from the left-hand side. Question is how quickly and how far. It's just a little wristy action. The danger picking up speed all the time. Just had to set it on its way. Wrist break in Monty's putting action. He himself doesn't rate himself as a putter that highly, I guess, although most others would swap his putting stats for their own. Par will do, having Been bunkered off the tee.
Would you be still now? Thank you.
Oh, 999. Double bogey 6. Now he's one behind William. Now Gergler. Superb second shot, almost pitched in the hole. And it's only a par. So, not the finish he would have wished. Finishes 5-4. Raymond Russell first to congratulate him. It's still a good round of 67. Couple of eagles in there. Johansson 1 under, so there's still an awful lot of players around the leaderboard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 6 under, all in the clubhouse. And Thomas Gergler actually has finished at 5 under, of course, hasn't he? That's not a bad start at all. David A. Russell up there, Paul Eales as well, and Michael Campbell, who's had such a disappointing season. Let's run through the scores, because I know a lot of you like looking at your favourites. Well, maybe we'll do that before the end of the broadcast. Meanwhile, Ernie Els, 17 calls. Just such an easy-going swing. Sort of launches it. And he's gone left again. There's the 17th. Not really seeing the water in play. That will happen throughout the rest of this week. At one stage, that pin's going to be over there on the back right. Be a brave man who makes a 2. This was it a couple of years ago. Jose Maria. Shoes and socks off, almost into the water, and hold the chip for a 2 from the water's edge. Ran way down, 169th in the Volvo rankings. Trying to punch that one in, but it looked at a sort of mechanical swing, really. 2 left and into the sand. That's not a pin placing that lends itself to Colin Montgomery's normal shape of shot. He's started over the bunker, but he can draw the ball if he requires. This hole 148, so just an 8 or a 9 iron. Well, it's closest of the 3, but nobody on the putting surface. So problems for Colin Montgomery as he comes towards the close of his opening round in the Linde German Masters. A beautiful day, and a day that's been reflected in the scoring. Course in perfect condition, and a whole stack of players, half the field under par. And there's more after these. Let's break before the end of the programme in 35 minutes. So if you hadn't had a cup of tea, you've had it, because we've still got some very good golf to bring you from the first round of the Linde German Masters, and a big gallery out with the top afternoon 3-ball. At times you haven't played like it. Ernie Els, Colin Montgomery and Anders Forsman, and all 3 across to the left-hand side of the 17th green, but you can see how close the pin is, and you probably now know, if you've been with us all afternoon, how difficult this shot is for Ernie Els. Just got to get it onto the top of the slope and it will release down. There he goes, and he's played that very well. Actually got a little bit of grip on that as well. Make it look a lot easier than it was. Montgomery just off the fringe, and this full strand in the bunker. Ulrich Johansson before flipped his ball out. Let's see what escape Anders has planned. More of a splash. Not really controlling the ball. Might just be expected to hold this. The line was right. Oh yeah, 18th, Konstantina Rocker. Across the water. Pushed out to the right, and I think he's okay. I think he's in the water. May well be a bunker down there that would have saved him.
No.
That's not so good either. See the line across that bank. I'm sure Rocker's ball is in the sand and downwind, and the breeze has got up in the last hour or so. And there's 2 over, and probably needing a 68 or even a 67 tomorrow already. So just simply make it through to the weekend. Up and down, par 3 for Els. Hasn't won in America this year. Been close a time or two. And Montgomery with 3 wins in Europe. Still a little down after the double bogey at 16. Despite the scoring, we're not seeing a happy band of campers this afternoon. They all seem to think they could do a little better. Here's 18. Now you get a good view of how the lake comes into play. 449 yards. Be as far to the right of the fairway as you can be. Bunkers all up the left hand side if you're ultra safe. Shouldn't really come into play for these lads. Up the right hand side, getting close to the water, then you turn and across towards the green. You can see a peninsula green surrounded on the 3 sides by the water, well bunkered as well. And that bunker bunker on the left, the pot bunker. That gets a customer or two later in the week, depending on the pin placing. And the bunker on the right of your picture, I'm sure that's where Rocker's ball will be, and just as well, might have been in the water otherwise. And today, cut back right. Back on the tee, and he yards with the honour. Interesting, just going with an iron again. Left himself quite a long second shot, quite a way back from the water's edge. He doesn't normally miss 3 fairways in a row. But even that fairly conservative and quite a long way back. And on the green, Romero for 33 to finish with around a 70. From Norway, going along quite nicely and quietly behind the leaders. Ooh, well, he was. We won't thank us for showing that. Fifth round of 71 for last week's champion. You quite often find that Thomas Bjorn last week didn't start so well and then got better and better as the week went on. It almost takes a round to bring your feet back to earth and then get to work again. That's a good up and down. Constantina Rocca finishing with a 70, 4 off the pace. Eduardo Romero for a 71. First round of the Linde German Masters, more or less half the field below par. Eduardo included. 6 under, setting the pace. mixed bag. Dropped a couple of shots at 6 and 7, and a bogey also at 16. Good 30 at 17, which I don't recall seeing. See, only hours with the iron off the tee, quite a long way back. Just waiting for the green ahead to clear, and the Forsbrand even further back, but at least he's on the fairway. Into Rocker's bunker. One more. Heat coming off. Just like that for friends in Scandinavia, the head coming off. Beautiful shot. Just a little along the. If you notice the flags behind the green just dropped a little when he hit the ball. Otherwise, I think that would have been spot on target. But a chance for Ernie Els to finish with a 3. Well, applause for Montgomery. He won't be terribly pleased with that, and discard the club, toss it aside. Not being my day, but you know, his poor days. Most people would take as quite a good day, and he will take something positive out of the day. You know, all those players up there, McGinley, Farry, Moolan, Baker and Caceres, they've all had good first rounds, but they weren't scare Colin Montgomery. You see a lot of players at 4 under as well. Andrew Coulthard in the end finished with a 68, as did Emmanuel Canonica. Jay Townsend lucky to hold on to his card. Ernie Els 4 under with 1 to play, but the name that Monty will be looking for, Ian Woosnam, there he is, 3 under, 69. You can look through and see where your favourite players have finished. Hopefully we'll keep going through for a little while yet. Now Seve with a 70. Finds Darren Clark, Tony Johnston, Costantino Rocker, up and down 70. There's Monty, 2 under, 2 with a birdie at the last. Roger Chapman, who played so well last week, almost stole the Smurfit European Open. Stephen Richardson, former winner of this title. Derek Cooper, who played well rounds 2 and 3 in Ireland. Bernhard Langer left himself a little bit to do, hasn't he? 1 under. And you can see a field of 102 and well over 50. In fact, 68 are below par at the moment. It's 65 and ties to go through to the weekend. So I guess standard scratch for the course, probably about 69 for the pros. And 6 under, setting the pace. And here's Mark James. 2 under. Ryder Cup hero last year, really hasn't done much this year. Tends to do that. Get himself up.
Look where the ball is now. Look, almost. Maybe just the side pocket.
And I think he can work out, he was really trying on that one. Oh, he's Anders Forsbrand. If he was in the sand, a chance of getting up and down, but this is harder than being in the bunker. Just hit it out and hope, and he's played that superbly. Well done. Well, deserves a little bit of luck, doesn't he? Well, the line was okay, sitting up, which helped him a little. this our Norwegian friend? It is. It was going along swimmingly until that duck hook off the tee. Got a chance. Oh, he's got a chance. Yes, 70. But he'll be telling the press, I'm only 4 shots behind, 3 rounds to go. And as he said last week, they don't hand out the checks on a Thursday. Of course, Ian Woosnam would have to win this week and win the Volvo Masters, and all Monty probably has to do is stand up. Turn up and stand up. We shall see. Down the slope, and not really as positive as the putt we saw at 16. On the 18th tee, Mark James. And 17th in the Volvo rankings at the moment, but that's an ideal tee shot. You see how much closer he's got to the water. Saved himself a club or two. Ernie Els taps in for his par. About a 68 will do for starters, just 2 off the pace. All that after starting with a bogey. Nolte. Such a neat player, 2-time winner on this year's European Tour already. On the Dutch Open, and won the Dimension Data Pro-Am in Sun City. Seems ages ago. Yep, been a good year. Every time he tees it up, worth about 25,000. Hasn't played that much on the European circuit this year, but 7 in the Volvo rankings. A good tee shot, but a rare bad round for Miguel Angel Martin, who has been well up for the Ryder Cup rankings early stages. There's Oyvind Rojan, who was in with a chance of the lead, and he escapes with a bogey 5. Not bad after duck hooking his tee shot of the 14th tee. There's the view from the hot air balloon up above the course. And down on the clubhouse, and there's the centre of your picture, the 18th green. Coming towards the end of this first round, the big names have finished. On the 2 out on the course, we may get a look at Peter Mitchell, Diego Borrego, who knows? Certainly up there. Well, still to come your way this European Tour season. I mentioned next weekend, Saturday, Sunday, late night coverage from the Mackay Pro-Am. And then all 4 days of the Toyota World Match Play, and then we finish as ever at Valderrama, the Volvo Masters, the grand finale of the tour season. And we're seeing all the way round, and it's about 52 kilometres from Berlin Airport. And there's the prize fund this week, £650,000. First prize, 108,330. Anyone's guess who's going to pick up that kitty come Sunday afternoon. Though the big name's not so far away. Ernie Els at 400, 2 off the pace. Has to be a threat. A chance or two to win earlier in the year. The South African swing of the European Tour. Perhaps should have won the Alfred Dunhill South African PGA, and in the end saw Sven Struve come through to take that. It's only the 12th time that Notty's teed up in Europe, but he's won over £270,000. That one may be a fraction right. Ooh, and into that bunker. That's been doing regular business. Rocker, Forsbrand, and now McNulty. A little bit of wind off the left doesn't make the shot any easier. Miguel Martin, who had a chance to win last week, of course, had to settle for 5th place in the end. It is very early stages, but he's doing all right in the Ryder Cup by Johnny Walker standings. Up there in 4th place behind Rocker, Bjorn, and Montgomery as ever, number 1. But if he wants to add to those points, I need a good round tomorrow. No, doesn't want too much spin, just nestling in the fringe. We've not seen too many smiles this afternoon. It's a long, hard season. I didn't expect to get one from Jesse. Deserves one though, super shot. Just 3 matches on this half of the course left behind this 3 balls. I suspect we're coming towards the end of our first round coverage. There's McNulty, who's been a winner in Germany before. Look at his swing. He stands because he's had knee problems. He stands fairly shut. You can see how, even from this angle, how the left foot in front of the right. This is just to take the pressure off his knee. Good posture. Good position at the top, not quite a full swing. And then through he comes. It's in good shape at impact. But maybe fooled by the breeze, just a fraction out.
Okay, put the tripod here, please.
And look at the swing of Mark James, which is a swing all of his own. See, he's standing slightly open. Lays the club off a little at the top of the swing. Through he comes and seems to lose balance and topple off the ball, but of course the important thing is he's balanced through impact. Right. Another half round, we're off again. Here's the way it looks like McNulty with Martin just on the top of the bank. And rather like Anders Forsbrand, you see, he hasn't gone back into the sand. He would prefer that. I saw Forsbrand play this shot very well. You just chop into the back of the ball, just pop it up really. Slide the club under, let the club face do the work. Nice slow tempo. Oh, he was a little unlucky, just a fraction more, but caught in the second cut of rough, and that may cost McNulty a shot. You see confirmation, 3 o'clock Central European time, 2 hours of live golf from the second round. Langer, Lehmann, Woosnen, Ballesteros. We'll be taking the starring roles, but also McGinley and Farry amongst our leaders. Martin, who lost in a playoff to Robert Allenby in the 1-1 British Masters at the much maligned Coventry Park. Top 10 at Loch Lomond a couple of weeks ago, took last week off. That's a beautiful putting style, isn't it? One of the best upright alongside Ernie Els, and even the best don't always work. That's a bogey 5-2 finish. McNulty a level par 72. And he will probably need at least a 70, maybe in the 60s tomorrow to make rounds 3 and 4. Winding down very gently at the end of this first day. And it's been one of Mark James's better days. A 69. Of course, the Ryder Cup bugle has sounded, and James, I guess at the veteran stage now, keen to take up the call once again. And 69, he's starting to get his season going towards the end, and you'll probably see his schedule will be a lot busier at the start of next year as he tries to accumulate those points. Of course, chairman of the board now, Tournament Players Committee. And just about the Closing action for us at Miguel Angel Martin for a 74. Well done. Not one of Miguel's better rounds. So there's the situation at the end, or very nearly the end of the first day. McGinley, Farry, Moulin, Baker and Caceres all at 6 under share the lead, ahead of Campbell, Eels and company. Host of players at 4 under, including Ernie Els. And that's just about it. I'll hope for your company again tomorrow, same time, for round 2 of the Linde German Masters. Next, it's Sports Centre, and any late developments in the leaderboard you'll see updated on the Sports Centre throughout the coming evening. My name's Steve Beddoe, and I look forward to your company tomorrow. Have a good Thursday. See you Friday. Bye.
The PGA European Tour was brought to you by Volvo.